Someone walks past the window. Your Dachshund barks. A car door closes outside. Your Dachshund barks. Someone knocks at the door. You definitely know about it. So why do Dachshunds bark so much? And if you're thinking about getting one, how much barking should you actually expect? Well, the quick answer is Dachshunds are naturally alert and vocal dogs. And when you understand what they were originally bred to do, that starts to make a lot more sense. These weren't dogs bred simply to sit quietly at home. They were hunting dogs. They needed to be bold enough to follow prey underground and vocal enough to communicate with the hunter above ground. Your Dachshund may live in a very different life today, but some of those instincts are still there. And what does this look like at home? Well, of course, your Dachshund probably isn't underground chasing a badger. They're more likely to be sitting on the back of the sofa watching the street. But from there, they can see plenty of things worth telling you about. Someone walking past, another dog, a delivery arriving, a strange noise outside. And once a Dachshund decides something deserves attention, it can be surprisingly difficult for them to ignore. That's something worth thinking about before you bring one home, because their small size makes Dachshunds look like obvious apartment dogs. And physically, they can adapt very well to smaller homes, but small doesn't mean quiet. If you have close neighbours or shared walls, barking may matter considerably more than the amount of the floor space your dog takes up. Can you stop a Dachshund from barking? I wouldn't bring one home expecting never to hear from it. Being alert and vocal is simply part of their breed. But that doesn't mean every noise needs to turn into a 5-minute announcement. Training and consistency matter. So does looking at what triggers the barking. If your Dachshund spends all afternoon watching people walk past the front window, for example, you've given them quite a lot to keep an eye on. Boredom can also make barking worse. Dachshunds may be small, but they still need walks, things to sniff, and something to keep their brain occupied. And when they're bored, you may notice more barking, digging, or other unwanted behaviour. So rather than simply telling your Dachshund to be quiet all day, it helps to look at why they're barking in the first place. What does this mean if you're thinking about getting one? Well, this is where I'd think about your home first. How much does noise matter to you? Do you have neighbours immediately on the other side of the wall? Do people regularly walk past your windows? Are you looking for a naturally quiet dog? If the answer to that last question is yes, I'd think carefully before choosing a Dachshund. Not because every Dachshund barks constantly, they don't. But you're choosing a breed where being alert and vocal is part of the picture. And that's easier to accept when you know about it before the dog arrives. So here's my final thoughts. Why do Dachshunds bark so much? Well, part of the answer goes back to the dog they were bred to be: alert, bold, persistent, and quite prepared to make themselves heard. Today, the badger may not have been replaced by the courier, but your Dachshund doesn't necessarily know that the courier doesn't need announcing. You can work on barking, you can manage some of the triggers, and you can give your dog plenty of other things to do. But if you're thinking about getting a Dachshund, I'd expect barking to be a part of life with one. For some people, that voice is simply part of what they love about the breed. For others, particularly if you're looking for a quiet dog, it may be something you need to think about. And if you already live with one, tell us in the comments, what does your Dachshund always feel the need to announce? Ultimately, it's about knowing whether the dog you're choosing fits the life you want to live, because the dog you choose will shape your life. If you'd like a fuller picture of everyday life with a Dachshund, you'll find our complete Dachshund breed guide here on Pet Personalities. Subscribe for more straightforward answers to the questions that matter when you're choosing a dog. Thanks for watching Pet Personalities. I'll see you next time.